it looks to me like you're saying that this document, although recently produced by ADA Hickman, was previously produced by ADA Lally. It's a little difficult for me to figure out whether this is entirely new based on the chart or whether it's some similar document or similar information but in a different form or what have you. But take any line, you know, I mean, take Bates number 228 to 232. Milton Police Department incident report is the way it's identified. And there's an indication here provided to Attorney John Geary.
Correct.
So it looks to me like you're saying that this document, although recently produced by ADA Hickman, was previously produced by ADA Lally. I don't know if there's a dispute about whether item 114 is or isn't different. That's what I'm trying to get my arms around.
I understand that, Judge, and we've gone through those, and we've pulled them, and we've pulled out the original that we got in 2021, if there actually was an original, and then we'll put it together with what we got in 2025. So we've done that for a number of items in that chart. I think maybe all of the items in the chart, except for the videos. We haven't compared the videos because we'd be here till next year trying to compare the videos.
Some of the videos are video clips that were produced originally,
Yeah,
and they've given you the whole video. And I guess, I don't know if that matters. How do I figure out whether it is or isn't different? I mean, do you also have a spreadsheet that would sort of match up here and describe what's different or what's not? Are you just doing sort of?
Document.
Okay.
You can ask witnesses, but now I understand the court doesn't want us to do that. I'm
no,
happy.
You could. Okay, you could, but we'll be here until the cows come home. I don't know when the last time there were cows in Dedham.
All right, Gladys, from the top.
Though we know you love butter, Fleischman's found something other. It's over butter. All the smoothness of butter with a rich, creamy flavor. Over butter.
But if I were to go through the first 6 items here, you know, bottom line is there probably is an easy way to figure out or to sit down and coordinate what isn't new and what's not, and then figure out whether it matters.
And to this point about, and you mentioned the word matters.
Well, that's prejudice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's whether there's prejudice.
All of the cases cited by both counsel, myself and Attorney Scaficcio, talk about individual documents that were provided midstream in a trial or right before trial or after trial. I've attempted to provide Your Honor with some kind of macro areas that were new and explain them, but I don't know, I can't respond to what I don't know. I don't know which of the documents that were newly provided prejudice the defendant such that the public doesn't view a public trial. I have police here to explain some of these macro issues.
So, Judge, I think you're right. There are 2 issues here. There's their failure to produce Rule 14 discovery, which could result in sanctions other than dismissal. And I think that's an easier question because that's all the notices of discovery that ADA Hickman put together, where she noted specifically, this was not provided before, this was provided before. That's easy for the Commonwealth. It's their document. They gave it to me. So they shouldn't be confused by what they gave me and they identified as new. If they're now saying some of the stuff that ADA Hickman said was new isn't new, then they got to tell me about that, because that's what they had represented and that's what ADA Hickman had represented when she took over. So to the extent that we all need to sit down, I'm happy to do that, Judge, but there's 2 different lines of questioning here. One is, where's the stuff been since 2021? Because my client was in custody for almost 4 years. Awaiting trial, and then where's the prejudice? So they're jumping all the way to the prejudice, and we still don't have our arms around where's it been since 2021.
Right. I think I can begin by taking evidence on the question of where has this stuff been and why wasn't it turned over earlier? First question, why wasn't this turned over in a timely manner? How do you want to proceed on that score?
I would then call ADA Lally first because he was the first one to touch the file, Judge.
Certainly, it's our motion, counsel's motion. I do also have here, just for I have 2 Milton police officers and state police, Lieutenant Tully, that I would offer the court to explain the Milton aspect.
Why don't we start with ADA Lally?
Sure.
Okay.
May I approach on behalf of ADA Lally?
Sure.
Briefly.
Patrick Hanley on behalf of ADA Lally.
Okay.
I had filed, I think, either Thursday or Friday, and served upon the Commonwealth and Attorney Scapicchio a motion to limit or perhaps modify the format of any presentation by ADA Lally. ADA Lally is an officer of the court. ADA Lally, I anticipate, is in a position to answer many of the questions that you have or that are raised by defense counsel, but that he should do so from counsel table and address them directly rather than in response to questions. I'd suggest that it would be faster. He's prepared to do it, and if there's follow-up questions that the court has or that are derivative from defense counsel's motion, I suspect that he'll be in a position to answer them. And so I'd suggest that be the format, because it will be faster. It also obviates the need to examine defense counsel to the extent there's any question of what was sent to defense counsel before or what was raised in documents before. Defense counsel, I would suggest, shouldn't be on the witness stand, and he shouldn't be on the witness stand.
The motion is denied. Mr. Lally can testify like any other witness. He has relevant testimony. He's being called as a witness, and he can testify as any other witnesses. Lawyers do it all the time. ADAs do it all the time. Defense attorneys from time to time do it.
Sure.
Okay, and so we can proceed.
These were the subpoenas that both ADA Hickman and ADA Lally received from counsel, seeking production. It probably dovetails with counsel's request for all the emails. I would ask that the court quash in so much as the request for the file. Anything that involves work product, mental impressions, or anything of the such should not be part of this questioning.
So right now, part of this questioning is, what did this ADA know?
Right.
What did he do?
Thank you.
Okay, who did he talk to? That's arguably work product. It gets discovered in this context,
Right.
because the question is, why wasn't this stuff produced in 2021? I understand that could be embarrassing for the office. I understand that could be embarrassing for certain individuals. That's where we are right now in this particular case, because lots of stuff from 2021 wasn't turned over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it may be that emails become relevant to this testimony. Okay. Who knew what when?
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do or didn't do in order to follow up? So, Lally, if you could come forward to be sworn.
I apologize. We have a motion to quash this subpoena entirely. ADA Hickman, do we want ADA Hickman present for this questioning?
I do not, Judge. She's going to be a witness as to what how the condition of the file as she found it. I don't think she should listen to what Lally says he had in the file before she testifies. That's no dispersion on ADA Hickman at all, Judge.
I understand. I'm going to overrule the request for sequestration of ADA Hickman. She's counsel of record now, and an officer of the court, and I'm confident that we do not need to extend the sequestration order to her. Your objection's preserved. Attorney Costa, to the extent you join in the objection.
I'm joining the objection, Your Honor.
And you have a standing joining of objections, if you wish, all defense counsel.
Thank you.
Okay.
The witnesses are sequestered. Thank you. Raise your right hand, face the clerk, please. Please solemnly swear the evidence you give the court in the case now and hearing true, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Lally.
Adam Lally, ADAM, last name Lally.
And what do you do for a living, Mr. Lally?
Assistant District Attorney with the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office
And how long have you worked for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office?
since 2005.
20 years?
Yes, almost.
What did you do before you worked for the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office?
Started with the District Attorney's Office straight out of law school. Worked a couple warehouse jobs, things like that during.
Sorry,
I worked a few warehouse jobs, things like that during law school. Went to school at night.
Okay. And what school did you go to?
Suffolk.
Suffolk Law?
Yes.
And undergrad?
Undergrad, I went to the University of Southern California.
Okay. When were you assigned to the Miles King case? And Brianna Gardner, I'm sorry.
Probably within a day or two
A day or two of what?
of the shooting and the murder occurring.
Okay. And how do you get assigned in the district attorney's office? Do they email you? Do they call you? How do they do that?
Objection.
Overruled.
I received a call from the first assistant.
And who would that have been at the time?
At the time, that would have been ADA Lynn Beelan.
Okay. and did she tell you you were assigned to this homicide case?
Yes.
And what does that mean to you, being assigned to a homicide case? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, at that point, it was an investigation. So as far as assisting with the investigation, should charges arise, handling the prosecution from there out.
Okay, so once you get assigned to the Miles King, Brianna Gardner case, is there a policy within the Assistant District Attorney's Office in Norfolk County on how to gather information that's required under Rule 14?
Objection.
Overruled.
A specific policy, not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, so there's no policy that you're aware of in the DA's office that details how to gather information. Is that what you're saying?
Not that specific to that, no, not that I know of.
So how do you gather information, and how did you gather information in the King Gardner case that was required under Rule 14? What did you do?
Objection. Just specify what is, it's too vague.
Overruled. Question is, what did you do?
So what I do...
And I think we can take it in chronological order. We'll start at the beginning, and then we'll have follow-up questions.
Sure. So what I do is what I do in every case, depending on how many different departments are involved. In this case, there was a local department and state police involvement, so I would make appropriate requests for any and all information that they had, any information that, you know, specifically I could outline or delineate as far as what I felt was relevant. And
Stop right there. How would you make those requests?
Typically what I would do is write out a formal discovery request, submit the form to any involved departments, and communicate either via phone or email to whoever the relevant party was that I was requesting discovery from.
When you say discovery forms, what do you put on? What did you put on the form in this case for Gardner and King?
Initially, it would be for any and all police reports, any and all photographs, any and all information as to who was present, copies of any and all search warrants, including applications, affidavits, copy of the warrants, any returns.
Do you have a memory in this case of asking for all the information that you just told us you normally ask? Did you do that in the Brianna Gardner and Miles King case? Did you ask for all of that information?
Yes, and just for clarity purposes, when I'm initially doing this, it's not the Miles King and Brianna Gardner case.
It's just an investigation?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, and more to that point, Ms. Gardner didn't become a focus of the investigation until later on.
Okay. So while you were investigating, without a defendant being a suspect, at least not initially, you asked which departments for this information?
The State Police, Norfolk County Detective Unit, as well as the Milton Police.
Who in Milton Police did you ask, and who in the State Police did you ask to send information?
The Milton Police would have been, at that time, Lieutenant Michael Collins. The State Police would have been Trooper Michael Proctor, as he was a case officer, and Lieutenant Brian Tully.
And so you have emails going to all three of them asking for all of the information that you just listed?
Yes.
Let's just take Mr. Proctor, Trooper Proctor. Did he respond to you?
Yes.
And what did he provide you?
At varying times, there were different productions of material, whether it was what was available at that time. So initially it would have been just whatever reports were available at that time. Later on would have been photographs, video.
How often would you say you emailed or communicated with the State Police, and specifically Trooper Proctor or Trooper Tully, regarding discovery in this case?
I cannot tell you how many times via email, but I mean, it was a constant conversation, particularly throughout the grand jury process as far as discovery was concerned.
Okay. So when you say a constant process, was there a time period where you asked for stuff and you didn't get it, so you were re-asking for it, or is it always new information that you're getting from the State Police?
I think it would vary. I think there were certainly items that I probably had to ask for more than once, but there were definitely items that I had asked for and was provided promptly, and then moved on from there to either additional information or that avenue was complete.
Do you keep records when you receive that information to be able to check off to say, I got these things, they're no longer outstanding, and the rest of this is?
I mean, I keep records in the sense of a list of items I'm looking for, and obviously when I receive something, then yeah, that would get checked off the list as far as I'm not looking for that anymore because I have it.
Okay. So if you got a set of grand jury minutes from a witness that you know testified in front of the grand jury, you'd check that off your list?
Well, as far as yes, I mean, I was at the grand jury, so I know who testified at the grand jury, but as far as receiving the minutes, yes, I'm aware of the dates, and when I receive the minutes, then that would check that off the list.
I missed, I think, a question and answer, one question earlier. I think the question was, do you keep records of what you requested? What was your answer to that question?
So records, as far as what was requested, I would always have, at least in some form, some sort of running list of,
Okay.
of items I was looking for. And then if I received an item, then that would be something that would be off the list. Now, that list would be obviously added to as information develops, and there might be additional items that I'm looking for.
And presumably because it's on the list, you've made the request?
Yes.
Okay.
And so you'd have, whatever's on the list, you'd have emails requesting that information, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then if they emailed back, you'd have checks off of your list that you got whatever it was, that, you know, maybe you were asking for 10 things and you got 5. You'd check those 5 things off your list, is that right?
Yes.
Is there any other mechanism you used to document what you got from, just right now we're talking about the state police, Trooper Tully and Trooper Proctor?
Do what again?
Keeping track of what they're producing for you. Is it all just emails and check marks on a list, or is there some other way that you keep track as well?
No, I mean, it would be something that I would have a list of items that are outstanding that would be, you know, followed up on if they hadn't been received at that point, and then I would follow up with whoever the appropriate person was to get copies of those.
And these lists remain in the file? Your lists with the check marks remain in the file?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And have you reviewed any of them before you testified here today?
No,
Okay. Is there a reason you didn't review the file before you testified here today?
I don't have the file.
You work for the DA's office, right?
I do.
And it's in the DA's office, right?
Yes.
And you knew you were going to be asked questions about this case, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do anything to educate yourself about what you did initially on the case?
Objection, this is her witness.
Well,
Counsel's witness.
I'm not sure I agree with that as an objection, but I'm going to sustain the objection as to the relevance. He did not review the file. Next
So
question.
what did you review in preparation for your testimony here today?
I reviewed portions of the file. I reviewed some of the items that have been produced by ADA Hickman. I reviewed search warrants. I reviewed police reports. I reviewed, you were asking specifically as far as checklists or notations. I didn't review those, but I did review, I have portions of the file. I have access to the file, and I did review portions of the file.
Okay. So you did review portions of the file, is what you're
Yes.
saying now?
Oh, yes.
You just didn't review your checklist?
No.
Okay. If there was a phone call, how did you memorialize what you requested and what they said in a phone call?
Notes?
You have individual notes?
Yes.
And where would those notes be right now?
In the file.
Okay. So do you keep like a running page of all the notes that you've taken in the case with communications that you had with all of the other entities and officers in state police in this case?
Not all in one location, but it would be sort of divided up by different entities as far as what I was requesting from that specific entity and what I was looking for, what I was still waiting for, what was still outstanding, things of that nature.
What happens when you ask for something, let's just say from the state police, and they don't give it to you? What's the next thing you do?
The next thing I do would be to ask for it again.
Okay. How many times do you ask for it before you have a meeting with the state police to look at their file?
Objection. The biggest objection I have here is that we're not speaking about any individual document, any individual date, vague questions about
Yeah, this is general practice, generally Mr. Lally's practice. I think part of the issue here is we don't have very specific items that are being referred to. Right. But I think I'm going to overrule the objection and give Attorney Scapiccio a little bit of leeway here in terms of general practice.
So in general, how many times do you email for the same document before you go to the state police and start to have a sit down with them?
I think it varies. I think it would be depending on a lot of different factors as far as what the item is, what the explanation is for why I don't have it yet, whether it's not available or whether it's something that they're currently working on, or if it's something that I know has been completed and I've asked for it multiple times and I still don't have it. I'm not saying that even happened in this case, but if in a general practice, if that were something that were going on, then yes, I would want to sit down with somebody and figure out exactly what's going on.
When you reached out, let's start with Trooper Proctor, in this case looking for information, and there were emails back and forth. Were there any occasions where you did not get the documents or the information that you were seeking from Trooper Proctor?
I don't recall anything specific other than if it was a situation where I'm looking for a report about something, and that report hasn't been completed yet, or that item hasn't been obtained yet for whatever reason. But I don't recall, in this case, ever asking for something and just not getting it.
Do you remember asking Trooper Proctor for the search warrants that he did in this case?
Yes.
And the affidavits accompanying the search warrants?
Yes.
And did he provide them to you?
What I received was a partial affidavit for search warrant.
Copy that. Did he provide them to you, yes or no?
Some.
How many search warrants do you recall there being in the King Gardner case?
In 2021 or beyond?
Let's start with 2021. How many search warrants? You guys pulled the search warrants?
6.
When you asked, and he signed all 6 search warrants, is that fair to say?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. And so when did you ask Trooper Proctor for the search warrants?
In July or August of 2021 when they were filed for.
Okay. And when did you get all 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor?
I didn't get all 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor.
You did not?
I did not.
Okay. So did you get 1 search warrant from him?
From him specifically, I received a portion of the affidavit for search warrant 306 and the entire affidavit for search warrant 348.
You got portions of 2 search warrants, and you knew there were 6 search warrants, is that right?
Yes.
Did you make notes somewhere in your file? Geez, I asked Trooper Proctor for these 6 search warrants, and he hasn't given them to me yet?
I believe, yes.
Okay, those notes are in your file?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And then when you didn't get the search warrants from Trooper Proctor, did you meet with him?
Yes, I mean, specific to that, I don't recall any specific meeting related to search warrants, but we did meet several times in relation to this investigation in this case.
But you understand that search warrants are Rule 14 automatic discovery, right? And you knew there were 6 search warrants, right?
I did.
And so when do you realize that you don't have all 6 search warrants? How long into the process? Do you know right away you don't have them all? Or do you not know for a long time you don't have them all?
I don't think I realized at that time that I didn't have them all.
I'm confused about how your system works. You said you had a system where if you asked for something and you didn't get it, you would then follow up with the police officer asking again and again. Did you do that with Trooper Proctor in this case with the 6 search warrants?
Yes, I believe so.
How many times did you email Trooper Proctor asking for the 6 search warrants?
I don't know.
More than 10?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. How far in between each email? Did you wait a month and email him again? Did you wait a week? Did you wait a day? How long in between your requests to Trooper Proctor to produce the 6 search warrants in this case?
I don't know.
You don't?
No.
Did you review your emails before you came here today?
Some of them, yes.
Did you see any emails to and from Trooper Proctor regarding the search warrants?
Yes.
How many did you see?
I don't recall.
More than 5?
Yes.
More than 10?
I don't know.
What are the dates of the first time you asked Trooper Proctor for the search warrant?
Specific date, I don't know.
How long before the next time you asked him for 6 search warrants?
Specifically, I don't know.
Was it months or weeks?
Weeks.
Weeks later. Okay,
Yes.
so that's 2 times you asked him. What about the third time? How much time went by?
I don't know.
Months or weeks?
I don't know.
What about the 4th time?
Again, I don't know how many times and I don't know specific dates.
So I guess my question is, how does your system work if you're not getting the discovery that you're asking a police officer for, and you're asked for it, let's just say 5 times? What do? Do you go to the office and you sit down and say, give me these search warrants, I have to turn them over?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes.
You go to Trooper Proctor and say, give me the search warrants because I have to turn them over.
Yes.
When did you do that?
Sometime prior to the defendant's arraignment in December of 21.
December of 21. So when you get to his office, do you go there or do you tell him to come to your office? I don't know how that works.
Either way, I don't
Remember how you met about the search warrants the first time? In other words, did he come to you or you go to him?
I don't know.
Okay. So you have a sit down.
Yes.
And you ask him for the 6 search warrants, and what does he say?
You will get them to me.
He will get them to you.
Yes.
Okay. If you tell him I have an obligation to turn this over because it's Rule 14 discovery, I need it right away, I've asked for it 5 times, what's the deal?
Those specific words, no, but the gist, yes.
Well, tell me what you said specifically.
I don't know.
Well, give me a best estimate of what you said to Trooper Proctor after you asked 5 times the
Objection.
search warrant that he didn't turn over.
Sustained.
So, did you keep any notes of your conversations with Trooper Proctor when you were asking for these 6 search warrants that he didn't give you?
No.
Why not?
It was something that I knew that was outstanding. It was something that I had asked for in written form numerous times. I didn't feel the need to write a note that I asked for it again.
So that's the first sit down. Did you send emails after the first sit down saying, hey, you promised me you're going to send these 6 search warrants, I still don't have them?
Objection, assuming facts.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the
Did you
question?
send another email to Trooper Proctor after you had this sit down at sometime in December of 2021 saying, hey, you still didn't send those 6 search warrants, can you send them over?
Yes.
How far after Mr. King's arraignment in December of 2021 did you send that email to Trooper Proctor?
I don't know.
Was it a year?
I don't think so, no.
What do you think? What's your best estimate of when you sent that email after you sat down with Trooper Proctor?
I would say probably a few months later.
A few months.
Yes.
So February, March of 2022, is that what you think it?
I don't recall specifically.
So when you're in this room with Trooper Proctor asking about the 6 search warrants, do you ask him for his file? Like, give me your whole file so I can go through it and figure out what's in it?
No.
Why not? You're there. There's outstanding discovery. You have the obligation, not the police officer. Why don't you ask?
I entrusted that whatever discovery I was requesting, I would get at some point in a timely fashion and then turn it over.
But you didn't get it. You asked for it 5 times. You didn't get it. You had to go see him. You have them right there now, and you still don't say, give me your file? Let me go through it?
No, I did not.
And when he says you'll get the search warrants, I'll send them to you. Did he have them? Did he have copies of the search warrants? He just wasn't giving them to you?
That I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
You don't get the search warrants in any event after that sit down, and you send another email. What's Trooper Proctor's response to that email?
Again, I don't know that I sent another email, but I know that there were subsequent conversations about it. Whether it was what format it was in, I don't know.
Okay, and at this point, you have to be getting a little upset with Trooper Proctor that you're asking for information that he's not giving you, right?
Objection.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, your question again?
You have to be getting a little upset at Trooper Proctor that you're asking him for information that he's not giving you, right?
I wouldn't say upset, frustrated probably.
I'm sorry?
Frustrated probably.
Oh. Judge, can we approach sidebar just briefly? I know.
Sure.
In any event, ADA Lally, a couple of months goes by, you still don't have the 6 search warrants. What do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I'm specific to the 6 search warrants. I don't recall as far as there was a topic that was discussed repeatedly. Obviously, I never received them because I never provided them to you or to Ms. Costa.
I guess what I'm saying is, you knew they existed, and you knew that, let me just say this, you knew that all 6 search warrants existed, is that right?
Yes, we went through all six of the search warrants on the last day of the grand jury presentation on November 19th, 2021. That's in the grand jury minutes as far as going through each of the materials, each of the search warrants, that they were search warrants, how that material was obtained, and the material that was returned in response to 3 of the search warrants was marked as grand jury exhibits.
But not the search warrant.
Correct. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry.
Information in front of the grand jury about 6 search warrants that you hadn't seen, and you put returns or information that had been returned in front of the grand jury on search warrants you had never seen.
So with
Answer that question.
And I'm trying to. So
Okay.
with regard to those 3 search warrants, the materials all that came back from the cell phone providers also contained a copy of the warrant as well as the addendum to the warrant, which was then also provided to you and Ms. Costa in discovery.
But not the warrants themselves.
No, the warrants themselves and the addendums, not the application and not the affidavit.
Right, so you understand that in order to make a determination as to whether or not you're going to suppress certain information, you actually need what you asked for and what you, in the affidavit that told the clerk magistrate why you had probable cause, right?
Objection.
I can take judicial notice of that, and I'm sure Mr. Lally knows that.
Okay, so you get in front of the grand jury. When do you present this case to the grand jury?
Began in July of 2021. The presentation had not been completed at that point, so there was a motion to extend the grand jury. And I believe there was one subsequent date that we went before them on November 19th, 2021.
In 2021?
Correct.
Okay. At some point, when Mr. King is arraigned, you understand at that point, Rule 14 kicks in, right?
Yes, I mean, I'm thinking about Rule 14 well before that.
And you know, when you arraign Mr. King, you still don't have the search warrant. Do you have another conversation with Trooper Proctor about, hey, where are these search warrants? I have to turn them over?
I'm sure I did.
And do you know when that would have been?
I don't.
And then, remember at some point in December of 2021, receiving a discovery notice from me. Hey, First Witness, Your Honor.
Yes.
This is just my discovery notice.
Is that a discovery motion, or what is
Motion,
that?
I'm sorry, motion, Judge.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember, after having filed this motion, you asked the time to go through and make sure that you can comply with all the requests, right?
Yes.
And you didn't have any specific objections to anything that I was asking for, right?
At that time, no.
Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sorry, Judge. So once you get the discovery notice, you know for sure that there are certain categories of information that we're looking for, right?
Yes.
And number one is all automatic mandatory discovery under Rule 14, right?
Correct.
Would you consider those search warrants automatic mandatory discovery under Rule 14? And we were looking for any and all statements of witnesses, is that right?
Yes.
After I filed this motion to December of 2021, you have another conversation with Trooper Proctor saying, give me the 6 search warrants.
I'm sure I did. My general practice is if there is any discovery motion that's filed by counsel, what I'll do is I'll send that to the appropriate police personnel as far as making requests and making sure that they're apprised of what's been at least asked for.
And did you do that in this case? Did you send my motion for discovery to Trooper Proctor, to the Milton Police Medical Examiner's Office? Did you send it to all of those entities?
Every motion that you filed, yes.
And then what do you do to follow up with each of those entities? Let's start with the state police. They get a copy of my discovery motion. You're looking for all of the evidence that they have, and specifically these 6 search warrants that, for whatever reason, Trooper Proctor hasn't given you. When you follow up, how long does it take you to follow up from the time that you give them the motion until you get an answer from them?
Specifically, I don't know. Typically, I would give it a couple of weeks or so.
And after a couple, and in this case, did you give it a couple of weeks, you think?
Probably.
Okay. And then what happens?
And then I'll follow up again.
When you say follow up, do you send another email, or do you get in your car and drive down there and say, we got to end this, give me this stuff?
I'll email or a phone call.
Okay. And so did you email or phone call, or make a phone call to Trooper Proctor in this case?
I'm sure I did.
And what was his response?
I don't
when
recall.
you asked for the 6 search warrants?
I don't recall.
Well, do you have any notes of your conversation with him? Remember you taking notes?
I don't believe so, no.
Is there a reason that you didn't take notes when you spoke to Trooper Proctor after these search warrants had become an issue? That you wouldn't take notes of what Trooper Proctor told you about the search warrants?
So you're asking me about a conversation that I don't recall specifically when it happened or exactly what was said. So whether or not I took notes for that conversation, I don't know. What I would do typically in my general practice is to follow up with whoever I had outstanding discovery requests in relation to try to get whatever information that I was seeking.
Okay, and so did you follow up with Trooper Proctor about the 6 search warrants?
I'm sure I did, amongst probably a number of other items.
Okay, and then you knew this case was going in for another date on discovery, right?
Yes.
And you knew you'd have to answer to the court what you've provided and what's outstanding. Isn't that typically how it goes on discovery dates?
Yes.
Did you ever tell the court, geez, I have these 6 search warrants that Trooper Proctor has, I can't get my hands on them, can you issue an order, or can you help me out here?
Did I do that? No.
When you went to court, do you remember representing to the court that discovery was ongoing and that you were producing as much information as you could? Remember that?
Typically, that's what I would say if that was the case, yes.
Okay, but you knew when you represented that to the court that you didn't have the search warrants, right?
Yes.
So what was your plan? How were you going to get them?
As I stated, what my practice would be if there was some outstanding item of discovery, I would request it and follow up if I hadn't received it.
But you did that. You requested it 5 times. You went to see him. Then you got my discovery motion. You sent that to him. You waited another month. And then what happened?
I don't recall.
Don't you tell him, get me these things now, I'm coming down your office?
Objection.
Overruled.
Did I ever tell him that? No.
Okay. So what do you do when he's not complying with your request? What's the policy in the office of the District Attorney's Office in Norfolk County when a state trooper is not complying with a request for discovery?
Objection.
Overruled if there is a policy.
What's the policy?
I don't know any specific policy related to that.
So do you go to your supervisor then and say, hey, I've asked Trooper Proctor 5, 6, 7 times for these search warrants. I've been down to see him in person at least once. He's not giving them to me. What do I do?
No.
Did you ever have another case other than Mr. King and Ms. Gardner's case where a state trooper didn't give you search warrants that you had been asking for since before indictment?
Objection.
Overruled.
Not that I recall, no.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I be heard on one slight issue? The discovery, the discovery request the counsel is speaking to, I don't believe that it was ever docketed. I don't have a copy of it. I've never seen it. So
The motion, the motion?
The motion for discovery was filed. He got.
Well, I want to make sure that you see it, though. Let's make sure you...
Speaking about it a lot here, and
No,
I've never seen it.
Attorney Scapiccio, can you just give it to Mr. McGee for a second?
Sure. You think it would be in the file?
I would think it would be in a file.
The bottom line is, this witness said he received it, Judge. I know I wouldn't have not filed it. We talked about it in the hearing. And I think there is a transcript, Judge, of a hearing where we talked about the discovery motion, and the court had it.
All right, we'll figure that out.
We do have ADA Hickman did have a copy.
You do have a copy?
I never saw it on the docket. I was working right off the docket.
Okay.
So this had never happened to you before, Attorney Lally, and you didn't go to Lynn Beelan, who was your supervisor, and ask her what to do. What was your plan? How were you going to solve it?
I don't recall specifically having a plan. If there were a situation where I was asking a trooper or a case officer for something and I had not yet received it, I might get that person's supervisor involved as far as saying, I've asked for this a few times, I don't have it.
Okay, so let's stop there. Trooper Tully was Trooper Proctor's supervisor, is that right?
Yes.
Did you go to Trooper Tully and say, hey, I don't know what the deal is, but I can't get these 6 search warrants from Trooper Proctor. Can you have him send them to me?
Specifically about the search warrants, I don't recall.
You didn't go to a supervisor.
I don't know if I did or I didn't.
But as you sit here today, you don't remember going to a supervisor, is that right?
I know that there were a number of meetings in relation to discovery that Lieutenant Tully was present for, along with Trooper Proctor, but going specifically to his office to demand 6 search warrants, I don't recall that.
How much time goes by before you ask for the search warrants again?
I don't know.
Is it a year?
I don't know.
During the time period, it's fair to say that we were appearing in court every couple of months on discovery, right?
Yes.
Did you ever notify the court on any of those court appearances that you were having trouble getting custody of the 6 search warrants that were issued in this case?
No.
You talked about having meetings, discovery meetings. Tell us what those are.
You know, at various points, probably more towards the early stages, or if there's something that's significant that comes up, it would be just a meeting in relation to, this is the discovery that's outstanding, this is what I'm looking for, what's the ETA on this, when should I expect to receive this?
And are those meetings in person or on the phone?
Typically in person.
And do they take place at the DA's office or at the state police?
Well, I mean, in this specific instance, the state police is attached to the DA's office, so it's the same building. So whether it was my end of the hall or their end of the hall, I don't know.
Do you remember discussing the search warrants and the outstanding nature of the search warrants at the first discovery meeting?
Yes.
And what was the response?
That the search warrants are still ongoing, as some of those search warrants were not just July. I believe it continued into probably September of 2021 as far as the last of the search warrants. I could be off on those dates, but...
How many meetings do you have regarding discovery before the return of the search warrant in July of 2021?
Not many. I mean, the murder occurs on July 10th, so there's not a lot of time in between that. So probably 2 at the most.
2, okay. And you don't take any notes on those meetings either?
I don't know.
But I guess I can't figure out, how do you keep track? If you have this list that says all these things are outstanding and you're having these meetings because there's things outstanding, if you're not taking notes at these meetings, how do you know what people are saying and when to expect the discussion?
If there was something that specifically was known as far as, you know, this is what's going on with this piece and an anticipated sort of ETA on return or something, then yeah, there would probably be a note about that.
All right, so let's assume that the returns came back the latest July of 2021. Let's give you 3 months, August, September, October. October of 2021. Are you asking again for the search warrants that you still don't have?
We've been over this time period. I'm trying to figure out you went all the way through arraignment and on the number of meetings and emails back and forth. I get it, but maybe you want to cover new ground.
I'm just trying to figure out, let me ask a question. So when do you realize that you never turned over the search warrants? When do you realize that?
As far as the 2021,
Back up. When do you get the search warrants in your custody?
in my custody,
Yes.
I would say probably I became aware of it about a month ago.
In 2025?
Yes.
July of 2025 or June of 2025?
Yes.
Is the first time you became aware that you didn't turn over the search warrants?
Yes, if I had been aware earlier, then I would have turned over the search warrants.
But you had your list, right? You had your list that said 6 search warrants outstanding, right?
Yes.
You didn't ever check that off, right?
No.
So you knew they were outstanding, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then when did they get to your file?
Again, so as far as my file, they did not. Again, I became aware of it after the case had been transferred from myself to ADA Hickman.
Well, let's talk about that. What date was the case transferred from you to ADA Hickman?
I'd say probably somewhere in October or November of 2024.
2024.
Yes.
And how does the case, let me just say in general, how does the case get transferred from one DA to another? Is there a policy within the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office of what needs to get done to transfer a file?
No policy, no.
Okay. So what did you do in this case with Mr. King and Mr. Gardner to ensure that your complete file got in the hands of ADA Hickman?
So I physically took the physical file from my office to ADA Hickman's office.
Okay. And did you have a conversation with her?
Yes.
And did you tell her, hey, there's 6 search warrants that I was never able to get from Trooper Proctor?
Again, if I had known or remembered that the 6 search warrants were still outstanding, then I would have got them and provided them. So no, I did not reference that specifically.
But then at some point, ADA Hickman has to come back to you and say, did you not turn over these 6 search warrants? Say that to you?
No.
She never did.
Nope.
Did you ever have a conversation with ADA Hickman about the outstanding 6 search warrants?
Not until recently, no.
When's the last time you remember answering on this case?
I believe it was December of 2024.
Could it have been January of 2024?
January 2024?
Oh, so let me back that up. In January 2024, were you still representing the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember there being a hearing regarding discovery?
Not specifically, but I'm sure there were.
Do you remember the court asking about discovery and how the discovery was proceeding?
I'm sure it happened. I don't recall that specific date or what was asked.
Do you remember telling the court in January of 2024 that you were hopeful that by March of 2024, we could proceed forward because discovery would be complete? Remember that?
I don't.
Okay. May I approach the witness?
Yes. From when?
January of 2024.
Okay.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm going to give you the transcript of the appearance before this court on January 24, 2024, and ask you to look on page 5 and tell me, read that at the bottom of page 5 to yourself and the top of page 6.
Yes.
Does that refresh your memory as to whether or not in January of 2024, you told this court that substantially discovery was complete? There might be 1 or 2 items that are outstanding, but can you get them to us?
I didn't read that portion. I was reading the highlighted portion, if I could have a moment.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing what you're referring to in that
Well, do you remember
transcript.
telling the court, Your Honor, I think as far as discovery goes, we're in a fairly good position. Did you say that to the court?
I may have.
Look at lines 16, 17, and 18 on the document that's in front of you, Ms. Lally.
And what page, Ms. Attorney?
Page 4, lines 16, 17, and 18. The court asks, where are we, Ms. ADA Lally? And you say, Your Honor, I think as far as discovery goes, we're in a fairly good position. Did you say that?
Again, I'm sorry. In the transcript that you handed me, I don't see that.
Let me see, it's a different one. Do you remember telling the court, I was wrong, you were right. you remember telling the court there may be a couple of outstanding pieces, talking about discovery, that I'll check on, and some other pieces that I was speaking to Ms. Coster about. But I think hopefully that by March 11th date, we should be able to proceed forward. Remember saying that to the court?
Do I remember saying that to the court? No. If
Does reading that refresh your memory that you said it to the court?
I didn't read.
Yes.
You can read from here over to here.
Okay.
To yourself, please.
Sure. Yes, that's correct.
Does that refresh your memory? Maybe a rally that you indicated to the court that, get this exactly right, there may be a couple of outstanding pieces that I'll check on, and some other pieces that I was speaking to Ms. Coster about, but hopefully by the March 11th date, we should be able to proceed forward. Did you say that to the court?
Well, those are two. So does it refresh my memory? No, but according to that transcript, that's what I said, yes.
Okay. And you know at that point that there were still 6 outstanding search warrants that you didn't have?
No, again, if I had known, then I would have gotten them and provided them.
Weren't we talking about search warrants on this day?
You're talking about 2022 search warrants, which were in a subsequent notice of discovery related to a cell tower dump. You were provided all of those as far as the application, the affidavit, the return, and copies of the warrants themselves.
So we're talking about search warrants,
Separate search warrants, yes.
and nothing's ringing the bell that you didn't turn over 6 search warrants?
Apparently not.
So the 2022 search warrants that we talked about, we're talking about search warrants in January of 2024. You don't say anything about the search warrants that are still outstanding, those 6. And you tell the court there's only a few things that are outstanding then, is that right?
Yes,
And then we come back, we suggest March, and we come back in March, is that right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Then in March, do you tell the court, Your Honor, as far as discovery goes, we're in fairly good position. In regard to that, I believe that was turned over just prior at the last date, so there may be a couple of other additional items of discovery that I need to get and turn over. But otherwise, I think we're in a fairly good position. Did you say that to the court, sir?
Again, I don't...
Finish, Your Honor.
Yes. These transcripts in the FTR, what's on the FTR, what was said by whom, when, is all a matter of public record, and we can look at the FTR and get it. So specific quotes and what was said, what was represented, that's part of the record, and we can see
But I
that.
just have to set it up so I can ask the question that I want to ask, Judge.
Great.
Thank you. So after having made that representation to the court, did you do anything to get the 6 search warrants?
No.
What were the outstanding matters as far as you understood back in March of 2024?
I don't recall exactly what we were talking about on a court date in March of 2024.
Do you have any notes that would refresh your memory as to what was outstanding at that point?
I might.
And would they be in your file?
If they were anywhere, that's where they would be, yes.
Okay. Now, other than the discovery motion that we filed, did we also file a pretrial conference report in this case?
That I don't recall.
Okay. But you understand, normally we file a pretrial conference report where you agree to give me what I'm asking for, and we agree to file motions on stuff we can't agree on. Is that typically how it goes?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't remember signing a pretrial conference report? Not that you didn't, you just don't recall.
I don't recall every pretrial conference report I've signed.
Okay. And then we talked about the meeting with the state police. Did you have any meetings with the Milton police regarding outstanding discovery?
In-person meetings? No.
Did you send the Milton police the same type of discovery request that you would have sent to the state police?
Yes.
And did you follow up with the Milton police the same way that you say you followed up with the state police?
Yes.
And did you follow up specifically with Lieutenant Collins?
Yes.
And so what, in your mind, was outstanding on the Milton discovery that you were communicating with Lieutenant Collins regarding?
At what time?
Let's start at the beginning.
Again, it's the same type of information that you asked about before, as far as reports or photographs or any material that they might have pertinent to the case.
So whatever the Milton police turned over to you, would you have kept notes of that somewhere?
Yes.
Would there have been emails back and forth between you and Milton about what transpired?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any trouble getting information from the Milton Police Department?
No.
When you asked for things, did they return your email and give you what you were looking for?
Yes.
Were there any reports from the Milton Police Department that you say you didn't have before you turned the case over to ADA Hickman?
There was one report, yes.
And what was that report regarding?
Mr. Turner.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Turner.
And what about Mr. Turner?
There was a report in the materials that ADA Hickman turned over in 2025 that was, I believe, offered by Detective Sergeant Clifford Murphy pertaining to Mr. Turner that I had never seen before.
Okay, and do you know why that wasn't turned over by the Milton Police Department?
No.
Did you go down to the Milton Police Department and look through their file?
No.
At any point in time when you were representing the Commonwealth, in this case, did you go down to the Milton Police Department and look through their files?
No.
Is that something that you would normally do in a homicide case? Go to the police officer's office and ask for the file?
At what point in the case?
At any point.
Typically, that would be something that I would endeavor to do closer to trial.
Closer to trial?
Yes.
So how could you make sure your obligation was satisfied if you're not meeting with the police until right before trial?
It's an ongoing duty and obligation that extends even beyond a trial.
Right, that's not my point. My point is, if you're not meeting with them and you're not going through their information, how do you know you've turned everything over to the defense?
Because I've requested it and I've been given assurances or information indicating that that is what they have.
Let me ask you the same question about the state police. Did you ever go through the state police file while you were handling the case, as opposed to making requests and even sitting down with the state police to make, face-to-face requests on an ongoing basis and all the follow-up contacts that you had? Did you ever actually request their whole file to go through it yourself?
No.
Okay.
And can you tell us, was there a policy within the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office of sitting down with police departments, whether it's state police or Milton Police, and reviewing their file prior to trial?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. So how far in advance of trial do you finally sit down and go through, let's take the Milton Police box?
It would depend, case to case, but it's something that I would probably do at least a few months ahead of trial.
A few months. And is that the first time that you put your hands on the actual box, or are you still dependent upon the Lieutenant Collins and other officers to give you what you're looking for?
Oh, that would be a time where I'm actually like, let me see the file and ensure that I have everything that you have.
Okay. And is there any prohibition to that meeting that you have a couple of months prior to trial happening right after indictment?
No, and that would be my practice now. So you're asking about sort of my general practice at the time. That would have been it at the time, but now I would do that much, much earlier in a case.
Okay. And the state police the same way? Did you sit down with them at some point and look through their file, or you never looked through their file?
No, as His Honor just asked, no, I didn't.
Okay. So I guess my question is, how did it work? Did they only look through their file and send you what you're asking for? Or at any point did they send you, here's everything that we have?
My request and my ask was for everything they had. So as far as me then double checking to ensure that I have everything they have, that would be something that would occur later on. And as I just indicated, my practice now would be to do that much earlier in the case.
Okay. So when you go, in this case, you knew we had picked a September 8th trial date, right?
I was aware, yes.
Okay. So you knew the case was ready for trial on September 8th. When were you planning on sitting down with the Milton Police and going through their file?
As the case was reassigned to ADA Hickman around the time that we selected the trial date, I don't know that I had a specific plan to do that. I did have a specific plan to meet with ADA Hickman to go through the file to ensure that she had everything that was there.
So by the time she had taken over in January of 2025, you had not made any plans to sit down with the Milton Police to go through their file, is that right?
She had taken over prior to that, but no, I hadn't.
Okay, and the same with the state police, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So when you're updating ADA Hickman, when she takes over the case, do you tell her, I've never actually seen the files, It's on my list of things to do, but I never get down there. You should get down and take a look at the files.
Not that specific, but yes,
What did you tell us?
that, you know, during the regular trial preparation or meeting with the officers as it gets closer to trial, I would do that, but I hadn't done that yet.
Okay. So I still kind of understand. Is there like when the police give you something, do they just email it to you, or is there like a list to say, we gave A. Lally these documents on this date?
As far as their list,
Yes.
I have no idea what they have.
Okay. So you don't know, as you sit here today, if they have an index of all the things they say they gave to you?
I don't.
Okay. And do you, on the opposite side, have an index of the things you got from them?
It would be contained within those requests, yes.
All right, so at some point, do you print out all your requests and say, okay, let me just make sure I have everything here? I've been requesting something since, December of 2021. I want to make sure I have everything. Do you sit down and do that at some point to make sure everything you requested, you've received?
My general practice would be, yes, and that would be as I know we're getting closer to a trial date.
Attorney Scapiccio, it's a little after 11, and we're going to be able to go until about 11:10. And then I have to break because we're going to have to do the motions to suppress on the two other matters. So we need to think about an appropriate time to break. Maybe now is a good time to break, and we need to talk about another date when we can come back and continue the hearing.
So you're on.
Okay. Attorney Lally, you can step down. Thank you. For the record, I think how much more, what other witnesses do you anticipate?
I anticipate Trooper Proctor, who didn't join us today, and maybe Trooper Tully.
Jim, how does our calendar look?
Well, 7/29, which is a Tuesday, is
Yep.
particularly good.
Particularly good.
Well,
There was
on that day.
There was a reason for that. I'm trying to remember what that reason was.
Tuesday.
Federal case on, so.
29th is not going to work for you, okay?
How about the 30th in the morning?
Should we potentially push this to the first week of August? How about
According to me, the 5th
Seven.
isn't good. Can something go on the 5th? It's blocked out.
That's blocked up.
So Judge, I know that Trooper Proctor's attorney is here. We did serve him in hand today. Could he communicate the new date to him so we don't have to reserve him? I don't want to go back to his home.
Morning, Your Honor. Dan Moynihan on behalf of Michael Proctor. He can be available August 5th.
Okay, good. So, 9 o'clock?
Sure.
Karen Reed filed a motion to get her shit back because meatball fat fuck Michael Morrissey at the Norfolk County DA's office, the Norfolk County DA for now, won't even give her car back, apparently. Like, what? What the fuck is it with Norfolk County and not giving people their shit back? Like, they still have Turtle Boy shit. Karen Reed's case is fucking over, so why haven't they given her shit back yet? Why is Lally deliberately avoiding Karen Reed and her request to get her property back? And now comes Miss Reed, respectfully moves that this honorable court order the return of all Miss Reed's personal property, including but not limited to a 2021 Lexus LX 570 and personal cell phone. Why negotiate? You know what I mean? The return of all of the listed property with Adam Lally. Counsel attempted to negotiate the return. Why a negotiation, though? Like, the language in here is interesting and has not heard back. So they've attempted to contact Adam Lally, and Adam Lally's like, nah, fuck you. It's some pussy shit, Adam Lally. Let's start getting into speculating as to why Mr. Adam Lally, what if any reasons Mr. Adam Lally is refusing to give the property back, or is being a dick about it, at least. If I had to speculate, I'd say that he's safely assuming that there's a massive lawsuit coming from the Karen Reed camp, and Norfolk County DA, the Norfolk County DA's office is going to be at the mouth end of that fucking. So